Hi everyone, Krugs here from Ace Trading. Today I'm going to talk to you a bit about one of our bots, the WaveRider. So the WaveRider is a bit different to the wave breaker in that it won't catch the initial push out of the wave. It'll wait for some consolidation outside of a wave and then enter a trade. Okay, so we're releasing two versions of WaveRider. So we have our original OG WaveRider, and we also have a Renko version. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about both and show you how to use them. Okay, ideally it's best to use WaveRider like WaveBreaker around times of high volatility. So looking at market opens. So I often tend to run it at the Australian Open, Asian Open, London, and the US. Okay, on the chart here you can see that I have got a Renko chart. Okay, I like to use Renko charts for WaveRider just so that I can see any trends forming and then obviously see some consolidation, and that's when that consolidation period is where I would like the wave to form, so that when we do break out of that wave, for example, you can see here, okay, that looks like it's around that 8 p.m. Which is the Asian Open. So you can see there was some consolidation there. So this would have been a good time to run that, the WaveRider to break. Once it's broken out, maybe wait for a bit of a pullback and then go. Okay, but today I'm going to talk to you a bit about the London Open because that is a favorite of mine. Okay, so let's pull up the strategy. So again, if you haven't imported your strategy, you go up to Tools, and you go to import, and then you're going to import that ninja script. Okay, as I said, we have two bots you need to import. We have the WaveRider, and then the WaveRider, the OG one, and then we also have the WaveRider Renko. I'm going to start with the Renko. So I've got a 20 Renko chart here. All these values will vary depending on the opens. Okay, I tend to like the 20 for London Open. So let's pull up the strategy. Okay, you can see I already have the Renko bot on here attached. Okay, it's ready to go. Often with the with the WaveRider bot, I'm not looking for a small TP. I'm looking for a larger TP, and also a larger stop loss. Ideally, you want to make sure that your profit ratio is obviously in your favor. So here I have 100 to 60. Okay, so that's a 5-to-3 ratio. 2-to-1 works, 3-to-1. Look, if you're pushing above 3-to-1, you are asking a bit too much. You're obviously going to get a lot more stop outs than you are wins, but it depends on your strategy. The difference between the Renko bot and the normal bot is that the normal bot has a count back. Okay, so we've talked a bit about the stop loss and TP. Now we're looking at the start time. So we're going to start the time at Chicago time, 3 a.m. So that's an hour after the open, because I like to run it after an hour to see what's going on with the market around that open, wait that hour and then enter. Okay, so I'd like to start my candle count from 2 a.m, finishing it at 3 a.m. Okay, and then I'm going to let the bot run until 7:30 a.m, so an hour before US market open. That gives me a good 4.5 hours to find a trade if there's a breakout. Okay, I'm only going to run one contract because I'm asking for such a great a high TP. I don't need to have multiple contracts. Okay, I'm running on the NQ20 and obviously I'm running it on playback. This bot calculates its inputs and that on bar close, which I guess doesn't necessarily matter too much to you. It's just a different way of running the strategy. And we enable and we go apply and we go okay. Okay, so let's slow this down so we can see what's going on here. So we'll slow it down to 50. Okay, so we've got our Renko chart starting, and you can see that we're at 2:45. Okay, moving across. You can also see the time down here. All right, I'll see if I can pause it so we can catch a couple of the trades. All right, we're watching it go through. We're about to hit our 3 a.m. time where we can see our waveform, and there we go, we've seen our waveform. So let me just pause it for 1 second. I should probably turn on our chart trader. I'm gonna have it hidden on the side. Okay, you're going to find that we're not putting in orders straight away. What we are doing with this bot is we're waiting for some consolidation outside of the box before we go into the trade. Okay, so the difference between WaveBreaker and WaveRider, WaveBreaker would have orders sitting outside the wave ready to go to catch that initial break. Okay, but you can see here we have a bit of consolidation. There was a bit of a turnaround in the market. Okay, we had a downtrend, bit of consolidation here, and we've started a bit of a trend up, and we're hoping that it is going to continue up. So let's just see what happens here. Oh, and there we go. We have now entered. Okay, so if you had used WaveBreaker, you would have maybe caught that initial push, depending on how big your TP is, and that's actually a pretty big push. We had 48 up until 52, so you probably get 53. You probably get a good 5 points out of that if you have pushed on the WaveBreaker. So you could have run WaveBreaker, and then you could have run WaveRider as well. Okay, I like to run multiple bots on multiple charts so that I can diversify my funds. Okay, and you can see here I've got a nice profit ratio. So maybe when you're trialing this bot out, maybe trial it on a micro contract so you can check out these larger TPs and stop losses. Okay, because currently I'm sitting at, look at that, I'm sitting at positive already. I could close the trade. The good thing about if I'm watching this trade, I can deactivate the bot at any time. Okay, and I can do that a couple of different ways. I could go up to my positions here and I go my strategies and untick, or I could just right click the strategy and untick it right here, and it will stop the bot. It won't stop the trade. Okay, but by stopping the bot, I'm able to then move my trailing. I can move my own stop up here to make it a trailing stop. I could move my stop loss here to one point in my favor. Okay, but the only problem with doing that is you might get stopped out, but you still end up in green. Okay, so we're just going to continue this, and look, there you go. So if you'd moved up your stop loss, you would have been immediately stopped out. Okay, we have pulled back down. Okay, but that's why we have our decent stop loss, because you can't have too tight a stop loss with this, because you do not always catch the initial push, the initial trend. And you can see now is probably a good time, once I've had that pullback, is to move my stop loss up, maybe to break even a few points up, or whatever we want to do. But I'm hoping to continue this trend, and hopefully we can catch our TP. There's another pullback, and there we go. We do get our TP. All right, that was a nice $500 trade off one contract. Okay, now that I've shown you the Renko version, I'm going to show you the WaveRider OG, I guess the original bot that we released, and give you a bit of a run through of how I would run it. Again, it's the same as the Renko. You're trying to aim for the market opens, so the Australian, Asian, London and US market opens. However, it can be run at any time. You can just pretty much turn the bot on at any particular time throughout the day or night, and you can catch some fantastic trades. It doesn't necessarily have to always be around those opens, except that I do like those opens because you tend to find that consolidation period and then a breakout, and then you're usually trying to catch that run of the breakout. Okay, so you can see here, just before London Open, there's been a bit of a drop down, and we started to see at 2 a.m. here, so 2 a.m. is the London Open, there was an initial push down, and often you see at the London Open, there's usually like a V shape. That's what I always tend to see. So this is usually a dive down and then straight up, and that is that consolidation period, and we're waiting for that consolidation period to the price to choose the direction, either come back up to where volume is up here, or go down and make a new low. Okay, so let's turn on, we're on the 5-minute NQ now, so we've now changed from our Renko. So previously I was on a Renko chart, so you can see on the bottom here. If you don't have Renko configured onto your chart, you can easily do that by clicking on configure and going down to Renko. You can add it, okay, and then you can add different values for your Renko chart. Okay, you just add it and put it on. Okay, I am on a 5-minute NQ chart here. I'm going to turn on my bot, go to strategies. So I have my Renko bot up here, which I was running. Now I'm running my original one, so the Ace WaveRider. So this one works on timed candle charts. The Renko one works on the Renko and range charts and so forth. Anything that doesn't involve, I guess, that initial time, because the reason why we have to have two is because the Renko chart doesn't go off time. Bars can be formed at any particular time, whereas this WaveRider version actually at the particular time. So actually at 3:05, that is when this bot will kick in. Okay, so I'm looking for a 2-to-1 this time. Okay, that's probably the more realistic one. Sometimes I look for a 3-to-1, but often I'm over a course of time, I'm looking for that 2-to-1 ratio, so that if I'm looking at 5 trades in a week and I'm successful 60% of the time, I'm going to come out on top for the week. Okay, yes, you may start the bot and get a couple of losses straight away, but you've got to play with the statistics, and you've got to know that there are going to be wins waiting around the corner, and it's a long game. Okay, we're not looking for a win straight away and then hopefully continue 100% wins. We know that we're going to get these losses, so we're looking for that TP of 60 to 30. Profit ratio, sorry. Again, I'm sort of running one contract. I've got a 12 candle countback because I'm running 5 minutes. So 12 5 is 60. So I'm looking for the 60-minute wave an hour after the open. So the market opened at 2 a.m. And all seems to be good. I've turned it on. I'll go OK, apply. I'm going to run my playback here and we're going to watch it. So you can see here we've had that initial push down, a bit of consolidation at the open. We're hoping to see now, you can see time here improve. I'm just going to speed it up a tiny bit so we can get to the trade. We're at now 2:30. Okay, I could have taken that initial trade and got a bit of a breakout, yes, but maybe I wouldn't have got the WaveRider because I'd be stuck in this consolidation period. Okay, well now we've got, there's that V that I was talking about. It comes down, bounces up. Oh, and we have a bit of a breakout, which is fantastic. We want to see that, but we're hoping to see that around that 3 a.m. Okay, so we're nearly there. Here we go. So we have that V. Perfect. Nice little consolidation just before the wave forms. Perfect. We want to see that. I like to see that. And then we come out. We're not taking initial trade because we're waiting for consolidation outside of the wave. There we go. We've got a big consolidation and there is that pullback. That's why we don't want to make sure our stop loss is too close. Okay. And we're going, and there we go. We get our winning trade. So you can see here the wave breaker waited for that consolidation. It didn't take that initial push, which is great, and then it waited for it to close and then came up. Okay, it's based off price action, a bit of support and resistance, and also volume. So there's a bit of calculation involved in this. It's a bit more complex than the wave breaker, but I do like it over the course of a number of days when they all add up. When you get those green days, it usually has with a 2 to 1, 3 to 1, depending on your ratio, it can be 60, 70, 80% win effective, but it just depends on what settings you run. Okay, and I would advise run it around the market opens, but I've had many successful traders run it before the market. So if you'd run it around before the market, you could have got here at before that break, and you could have caught that break, or you could have ran it at the London Open and caught that initial push. I've run it an hour after the open, so there's a number of different ways to run it, but yeah, that's the WaveRider. Enjoy your day.